Welcome back guys to this channel, The Fitness Enthusiast. Today's topic I'm going to be covering about the supplementation with creatine. How optimally one would supplement with creatine to get the best results they are looking for. So without wasting any time, let's just dive into it and just get started with it, okay? So let's understand what's really creatine is. So creatine is a substance that is found essentially in your muscle cells as phosphocreatine. About 95% of your creatine is found on your muscle cells, and rest 5% is found on brain, liver, and kidneys. So what are the benefits one would get by supplementing with creatine? By supplementing with creatine, one would get more strength, more endurance, more brain functions. You would have 20% increase in your brain capacity or brain functions, okay, by supplementing with creatine. It is quite evident. There is a lot of evidence for it, okay. There are so many meta-analyses have been conducted throughout years, which shows that those who have supplemented with creatine, pretty much predominantly the older generation, because they had likely to have some sort of nervous diseases, right? Some Parkinson's diseases, right? So they would actually literally get benefited by supplementing with creatine, because their memory would get improved upon times by supplementing with creatine. I'm not talking about the normal individuals who have a better memory function, so they would not get essentially a benefit out of it, okay, but they would get a benefit out in terms of muscle growth, strength, and performance. So that is a necessity for the creatine to be taken, and it could be taken from the food sources directly. It could be taken from the supplements as supplementation, okay, you could understand that, right? Food sources like fish, meat, dairy products, eggs, in fact, okay, you would supplement those creatine levels in your muscle cells with those food sources. Apart from this, you could take supplement, which I would be talking about in a couple of minutes, okay. So what exactly it works, okay. So it actually increases your phosphocreatine counts in your muscle cells, which in turn would convert more number of ATPs, energy molecules, in your systems. Thus, you'd be find the benefit you are looking for in terms of performance, strength, okay, and recovery, of course, yeah, and brain functions also, right? And this creatine is so much, analytically they are looking so much similar to those amino acids, like, because these creatines are created from those lysine and arginine, right? Those are amino acids, right? Okay. So what benefits we're getting from the creatine apart from this muscular endurance, okay? You would sustain greater training session, okay? Intense training session would sustain. It will help you to volumize your training session. More number of volumes you handle in one session. When I'm talking about volume, means number of sets could be increased, number of reps could be increased, okay? So that's the job of creatine in terms of performance, muscular strength, recovery, okay, and brain functions. And you could take the supplements like creatine monohydrate, one of the supplements you would take to supplement to maintain your creatine profile in your muscle cells, right? And when you are taking those supplements, creatine monohydrate, make sure you are incorporating a lot of water into your system, because what it does is it retains too much of liquid in your muscle cells. So thus, by volumizing your muscle cells, which would in turn give you muscular growth in over time. Okay. Study shows who have been supplementing creatine for months have increased their bench, deadlift, and overall multi-joint performance by 20%, 30% also, right? Compared to those who are not taking creatine in the first place. And those vegetarians are greatly influenced by taking this creatine supplementation, because they don't have the creatine into their systems by consuming their own food sources, right? So vegans, you better take this creatine as your primary muscle builder routine to saturate muscles through creatine, right? So there are a couple of ways you could do that. Being a vegetarian, you would opt for outside creatine sources in terms of supplementation. And being a non-vegetarian, you would have different options to look around, right? You would either take supplements or you would fulfill those needs directly from your food sources also. So let's just talk about, there are several categories of creatine, okay? The more popular is nowadays is creatine monohydrate. Though those marketing brands or supplement companies are saying that ethyl creatine is much more beneficial in terms of digestions and better gut, but there is no significant evidence found that by consuming creatine monohydrate will have a down digestive health. Okay, so take creatine monohydrate without taking preferences over other creatine, right? So like ethyl creatine, HCl creatine. Okay, monohydrate creatine is being created creatine with H2O molecule, but somehow it comes with powder form. I don't know why, but it's a chemical reaction, right? And then how do they make a powder of it? By combining the creatine itself with the water molecule, right? Creatine with the water molecule, they form creatine monohydrate. To me, because I've already used creatine monohydrate, I don't have any gut issue by taking creatine monohydrate over time. Okay, I've been into this for a while, but I don't see any side effects of creatine monohydrate that would bring to the person over taking ethyl creatine. Okay, but it actually ethyl creatine is more bad than your monohydrate creatine, because it doesn't stay into your cells per longer. Okay, while on the other side, creatine monohydrate stays much longer compared to the ethyl creatine or HCl creatine. So creatine monohydrate is the best option when it comes to creatine. Okay, when it comes to supplementation with creatine. So let's just talk about how do you take this creatine monohydrate. You would take it like, if you are a beginner with this creatine, you could start a loading phase of 5 to 7 days with 20 grams of creatine distributed over 4 doses of 5 grams, right? And thereafter, you could actually load with 3 grams per day, would be sufficient to saturate your muscle. Or if you don't want to load to get into this load phase of creatine. So you would directly start like consuming like 3 to 5 grams. So you would get the same benefits out of this over 4 to 7 weeks of time frame, right? So if you are being serious about results, you would start a loading phase. And if you are someone who is optimistic about long set goals, right? So that person would opt 3 to 5 grams of daily creatine levels from those supplements, right? And these creatines are better absorbed when taken alongside with carbs and proteins. So it would actually spike up your insulin levels, which is basically window into your cells, right? Into your cells, okay? So the more nutrients would get into, and the creatine would get into your cells within that insulin spike window, okay? So I'm urging all of you guys to take alongside with carbohydrates, so that it will raise the insulin window. If you are taking it alongside some proteins, so you also getting those protein nutrients back into your muscle cells. And a study shows that those who are taking creatine are less likely to being a victim of this muscle growth, okay? Because there is no muscle breakdown, there is no more muscle breakdown, while on the flip side of it, it would actually enhance the muscle growth. And there is a protein called myostatin protein, right? It is found in every person from the day they born, okay, or even after being born, right? So they're found. This myostatin protein is being found before someone is born and after they're born, okay? So what is the job of this myostatin? Myostatin restrains your muscle growth, okay? It doesn't allow your muscle to grow rapidly. And it allows your muscle to move, okay? So if you are supplementing with creatine, so myostatin level would not be elevated, and which is you are likely to get more muscle in your system, right? So these are all the benefits you would get if you're supplementing with creatine. So that's it for guys. Like, subscribe, share as much as you can. And I've been noticing that so many people are watching my channel, but they are not subscribing to it. So please do subscribe and feel free to comment on it. And yeah, just turn the post notification so that if further video I'm gonna be uploading, you will get notified in no time. Okay. So that's it for guys. See you next time. Bye bye.